What's up guys, my name is Ace, and the floodgates have opened for confirmed information about Cold War. A lot of this stuff we've been asking about and waiting for a really long time, and we finally started getting this starting yesterday with a big blog post, and now just today we also got much more details on the prestige system that's coming to Cold War. There will be a prestige system, but it's not exactly like the traditional prestige system that we're used to in Call of Duty. It's sort of a hybrid. So first up in today's video, let's go into great detail with exactly how this prestige system is going to work in Cold War. And then I'm also going to do just a little bit of a recap of the information we got yesterday because I didn't have time to cover it yesterday because I already had my video scheduled and everything. So yeah, we'll cover that toward the end of the video because I know a bunch of you guys have already seen that and don't need to hear about it. But let's jump into the leveling system. And the first thing to know about leveling in Cold War and Warzone and Modern Warfare is it's actually going to be unified starting on Season 1, which is December 10th. They're going to completely unify all of your leveling across the 3 games. So it doesn't matter which one of those games you're playing, you're leveling up the same level. Now with this at launch for Cold War, which is next week, we are going to start at level 1, obviously, and we can rank up through our military ranks, which is rank 1 through 55, and this is where you unlock all the base guns and the perks and the equipment and field upgrades and stuff. Nothing too surprising here, this is a pretty standard sort of thing. Then, at the beginning of Season 1 on December 10th, this is when everything's going to synchronize across Cold War, Warzone, and Modern Warfare. So whatever rank you achieve in Cold War before December 10th, that's going to be what your rank is in Modern Warfare as well as Cold War. Although I should mention that nothing will be lost in Modern Warfare, so even if you don't buy Cold War, so you're technically level 1, you will be reset back to level 1 in Modern Warfare, but you won't lose any of your items or anything. You're just going to be starting with this new progression path. And like I said, any XP you earn playing any one of the 3 games will contribute to the same level. Now, this is where we get into the prestige system itself. So what they're doing here is a seasonal prestige system, which really had me worried when I read this. But as I read deeper into this, I'm actually starting to like the sounds of it a decent amount. But with this for Season 0, so between launch and December 10th in Cold War, once you finish those military ranks, that first 55 levels, this is when you enter Season Level 1, Prestige 1. Then 50 ranks later, we get Prestige 2, and then another 50 ranks later, we get Prestige 3. And then we're going to be capped out until Season 1 comes around. And with those, they did mention that with Prestige 2, so once you get to rank 50, you will get a weapon blueprint, and there will be other rewards as well as you progress through these levels. But then with each season, we're going to get 4 additional prestiges that we can work through. And each prestige is going to be earned at 50 rank increments. So every 50 levels, you enter a new prestige. Now, it's worth mentioning that nothing resets with this prestige system, unlike the traditional systems with Call of Duty, where when you prestige, you would set yourself back to level 1, and you'd have to go through and unlock everything again. That's not how this is working. You're basically just continuing to level up, and you gain these prestige icons, as well as rewards, which I'll cover in just a little bit here. But like I said, with every season, we're going to get 4 new prestiges that we can work through, each one earned at 50 rank increments. And these will all add on to your previous prestiges as well from previous seasons. So it's not like your prestige level gets reset with every season and you lose any progress you had, which was one of my biggest frustrations with the seasonal system in Modern Warfare is when the new season started, you lost all that progress that you worked toward in the previous season. With this one, your prestige level carries on season after season. And they said there's going to be a total of 25 plus prestiges throughout the year. Once we get all of the seasons, it looks like there will be 6 seasons available. We're going to have more than 25 prestiges total across the year to unlock, but only 4 per season. Now, one of the things I really like about this is if you didn't reach the maximum prestige level in a season, that's okay. You can still make up for that in the next season, and you can still progress to the same points as everyone else, so you can still do that catch up if for whatever reason you have a season where you weren't able to play as much as previous seasons. So just as an example, for Season 0, if I only make it to Prestige 2, for instance, instead of Prestige 3, which is the cap, that's okay. When Season 1 comes around, I can still get that Prestige 3, and then I can still then progress through the next 4 prestiges that are available for that particular season. So I think that's great as well, so people that maybe missed a season or didn't get to play a bunch in a season, they don't feel really demoralized like they got set back and they can just never catch up to everybody else. But up until this point, I kind of had mixed feelings. I was thinking, like, that's kind of cool that we can do all of this, and it's a nice compromise. But what about the really heavy grinders that are going to reach those 4 prestiges in a season within the first week or 2 of the season launching? What about them? Well, it turns out they actually thought of that, which is great. And it turns out with each season, we're going to have access to up to 1,000 levels. And this is going to be mainly just for those really hardcore grinders. They'll probably have it timed so the average player can reach those 4 prestige levels in a season. But then for anybody that wants to go beyond that, you can go up to level 1000 each season. And each 50 levels that you gain as you're going up to level 1000, you will get milestone rewards. And it seems like these milestone rewards could include cosmetic items like emblems or calling cards, things like that. But also, we will get prestige keys. For every 50 levels as you're ranking up, you will get a prestige key, and prestige keys are going to be used in the prestige shop. And with these, you'll be able to buy legacy prestige icons from previous games. And the cool thing about this is you can only get these with prestige keys. You can't just buy them with COD points. You can't buy your way to the top. This is stuff that you have to actually grind hard to earn, and then you'll be able to show that off, which I love. I feel like a lot of that has been missing in recent years with Call of Duty, where all the coolest stuff you could just pay for if you wanted to. With this, you have to actually put the work in to earn it, and you'll be able to show that off. Now, moving on to the next thing with prestiging, we're also going to be having seasonal challenges, and this looks like it's going to be essentially replacing that officer rank challenge system we had in Modern Warfare. And with this, with each season, there's going to be 2 collections of 20 calling cards per season. So there will be 20 calling cards we can unlock for multiplayer and 20 we can unlock for zombies. And we will gain access to unlocking these calling cards, like we'll gain access to the challenge to unlock them, with every 10 levels up to level 200 when the season starts. So in a lot of ways, this is kind of similar to the officer ribbon challenges that we had in Modern Warfare, but instead of every level we gain access to a new challenge, it's every 10 levels we gain access to one of these challenges that will unlock a calling card, not just a ribbon. Then, once you earn all of the calling cards within a collection, you'll get a Season Master calling card as a reward. So, instead of getting that animated emblem that you would get in Modern Warfare, you're now getting an animated calling card that represents the fact that you've essentially mastered that particular season and done all the challenges. And to me, this seems like a pretty nice improvement over the Officer Ribbon challenges. Like I've said before, I like the Officer Ribbon challenges. I like the idea of having those seasonal challenges to work toward, but I don't think it was implemented super well in Modern Warfare. This time around, I'm actually liking the sounds of this a lot more because you're actually earning these calling cards. Hopefully they're really cool looking calling cards as well. And I always like calling cards that you have to actually earn rather than ones that are just kind of awarded randomly to you. But finally, when it comes to the prestige section here, they wanted to make sure they're reiterating the fact that this prestige system carries across all 3 games. So you actually don't even need to have Cold War to work through these prestiges once Season 1 drops. You can work through these prestiges in Modern Warfare, or you can work through them in Warzone. It's all a unified level, which I personally think is incredible. I'm really happy to see that. That way, the players that love Modern Warfare, they can stick to playing Modern Warfare and still rank up. And then the people that want to move on to Cold War, they can stick to Cold War and still rank up that same level. And then, of course, we've got the Warzone players, and they will also be ranking up the exact same level. So my overall thoughts on this are very positive. I think they've definitely hit all of our main concerns with the seasonal system with Modern Warfare, where it felt like you just capped out each season, and it felt useless because you would just get reset, so you didn't have that long-term feeling of progression. Then there's also the really heavy grinders that really felt like once they hit rank 55 in Modern Warfare, there was no reason to play the game, because for a lot of people, that's a big part of why they play, is they want to be progressing through levels and earning XP and stuff. For those players, they can get up to level 1000 with each one of the seasons, which is great. And then for the people that hated the prestige system in the past because they had to reset every single prestige and start from level 1 and re-unlock everything, they don't have to do that anymore. So at least on paper, I'm very impressed with how they're handling this, and I'm actually quite looking forward to this leveling system. And with that, let's move into yesterday's information that I wasn't able to cover yesterday, and just do a quick recap of what we got there. And with this, we got a bit of a roadmap for how things are going to work in Cold War between launch and Season 1, and what we can expect for Season 1. So first up, it looks like November 24th, so this is after launch, we're getting Nuketown 1984. And that's no surprise, I think everybody expected this. It won't be there at launch, but we'll get it a couple weeks later. And then we have Season 1, which, like I said earlier, begins on December 10th. And with Season 1, we're going to have access to more multiplayer maps and modes, and you can see in the background there's a brand new map that we haven't seen yet. Then, something a lot of people will be excited to see, 2v2 Gunfight is coming to Cold War, but not until Season 1. It's not going to be there at launch. But in Season 1, we're going to get 2v2 Gunfight, which is great. But then after that, we're going to be getting new weapons, and we can see there, that is an OTS-14 Groza, which was actually made in 1994, so I don't know how that's supposed to fit with the whole Cold War timeline, but maybe there's some zombies time machine or something that brought that gun back in time to the Cold War. That's going to be coming in Season 1. Then on top of that, new zombies modes and much more. I should also mention when talking about that new gun, Adler in this image is holding a Striker shotgun, which was leaked in the beta. That's most likely coming at launch though. But finally for this image, something I'm really excited for. On the right-hand side, there's a classified Warzone experience coming, and there's a little bit of a map there in the Aral Sea. And if you look at the text, a lot of it is blacked out. However, part of it is clearly referencing Rebirth Island, which is a real island. It's located in Kazakhstan, and it was used by the Soviets as a biological weapons test site. So what I suspect this is going to be kind of like our Alcatraz for Warzone. It's going to be a brand new map for Warzone, but it's not going to take over the main Warzone experience. It's more so going to be a side experience, kind of like Alcatraz was, where it's a smaller map with a totally different pace. And I suspect they're going to tie this in with the story, and this is where that gas for Warzone originated. That's my suspicion, at least, story-wise, and it's probably going to be Nova 6 as well, to tie it in with the Black Ops universe. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for that, assuming this is the case and that's going to be kind of like our Alcatraz of Warzone. I'm really looking forward to that because that would provide a totally unique experience within Warzone that we haven't experienced yet. We've had pretty much the same map all year so far. So yeah, super excited about that. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in today's video. Of course, I want to know what you guys are thinking about all of this news. Does this get you more excited for Cold War or less excited? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.